Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the knowledge base in Microsoft Dynamics 365. The idea is just cover a couple of topics that I really think that are important, and after that, just going directly to the CRM and doing all the exercises like in a practical way. Uh, like uh, Let me present that. Uh, Display. Okay. Okay, CRM has a complete model for administration and management of knowledge articles. As probably you know, the CRM has a lot of out-of-the-box functionalities that you can use as you need. And one of that functionalities is the knowledge base. The idea with this knowledge base is that you could document all the information that you want, all the procedures, all the treatments, all the articles that you need to have near to including a case, to including a task, to including an opportunity. So the idea is just standardize all the documents that you are going to have on your business, and after that, make that articles available. How you could do that articles available? Just configuring some keywords, and after that, just configuring a search bar that enables you to find that articles anytime and just include the articles in a case resolution, in an opportunity progress or something like that. So the main idea of the articles is just have a standardized documentation that you could have available for your procedure. Okay, the topics that we are going to be covering today are basically five. The first one is going to be the knowledge management process. I just want to show you a diagram that is available in the Microsoft standard documentation sites. And I want to just review that diagram just to make some clarification, just to do some comments related to that. After that, I want to talk about the procedure to create a knowledge article, how the article templates works, and how is the review article process, and how to use the knowledge article dashboard. Basically, these are the main five topics that I'm going to be talking today. So the process probably is kind of small, but I'm going to be reading and I'm going to be explaining all the diagram. The following diagram describes the process of creating and using knowledge articles in Customer Service Hub. So at the beginning, you have someone that is going to create an article. I mean, someone that has the permissions and has that responsibility. So I mean, could be a person, it could be a team that is going to be allowed to create that articles. Usually, the articles are created in a draft status, and after that, someone must review that article. So the person that is creating the article must mark the article for review. And after do that, someone that is going to receive the article for reviewing is going to review the article and define if he needs to return the article or he could approve the article. So at the beginning, you need to create the article, mark the article for review. The article is going to be available for reviewing. The person that is in charge of do that revisions or do that review is going to review the article and define if the review rejects the article and return the article to the author, just to let him change or update the article with some comments. Or if the article is okay, the reviewer is going to approve the article, and the article could be in a status ready for publishing. Uh, the article is not going to be available for the final users until the article is published. So I mean, when you review the article, you need to define when the article is going to be published. It could be immediately, or could be in a couple of days, or in a couple of months. It doesn't matter. But after publishing the article is going to be available For internal use, I mean directly in CRM, or could be available for external use that basically is in a portal. So what does it mean? That you could create articles and allow them to be available in a portal. If you have a customer service self-service portal, you could enable that portal to allow the users to go directly to the portal and try to search some articles directly with your keywords. So that's one of an additional functionality that you could use with these articles. Okay, so how we could create an article? So the first thing that we need to be aware of that, we must be sure, is that you have the right permissions to create and read articles. The entity that you need to have with permission is knowledge article, and probably some related entities that I'm going to be presenting you as follow. By default, these permissions are added to the knowledge manager. What does it mean? That by default, the CRM has a role, and a specific role, knowledge manager, that already has that permissions. So if you don't want to customize additional roles, you could just use it. You could just use that role, the knowledge manager, or the customer service manager has that role as well. The customer service representative role additionally has that roles. So you could use one of these roles, depending of the permission that you want to add to some specific user. But usually, I just recommend use the knowledge manager because it's a more focused role that could has the role that you need. Okay, after be sure that you already have that role, you need to go to the customer service hub sitemap and go directly to the service and knowledge articles. And in the command bar, you could just click on new. Okay, let's go and navigate to that place just to be sure that everybody is exactly in the same place. So you need to be sure that you are in the right app in the customer service hub. So you could just click here and on the app selector on the app menu, and you just need to select customer service hub, the like the hard images. And after that, you just need to be sure that you are in the service menu. And in the service menu, you could just go down and search the knowledge article. So just from here, you could just click on new, and you're going to be able to create a new article in your system. Okay, let's continue with the document. Okay. Okay, when you click on new, you're going to have a screen with basically four sections, or I mean, with two sections with four fields. In the first section, that is the article content, you're going to find a title that is basically, yes, the title of the article uh, that describe what do you want to communicate, the subject, the purpose of the article, but in a concise manner. I mean, it's just a title. But the most important things here is the keywords. Uh, sorry, are keywords because are all the words that you want to relate to the article that allows the users after that search the article, find the article. So, for example, you are creating an article issues with installed printer or something like that. You could use keywords like printer, like issue, like hardware issue, like configuration, like so many different words that could be related with the article that are going to allow the user after that search the article. Of course, you have a description. It's going to be a short overview of the article. Usually, it's not the article by itself, but it's a small description that the purpose of the goal of the article. And finally, you're going to have the content. The content is basically uh, a section that you could have to describe the content of the article. You could use images, you could use tables, you could use hyperlinks, whatever you need. are going to be available for the article. Um, in the content section, you just need to add the content of your knowledge article. After that, you could just save the article. And as you can see in the business process flow, it's going to appear the article in a stage or new processes. Let me show you this information in the CRM because probably it's easier to understand. Articles, keywords, drop down. So okay. Let's see this in the CRM. Okay, let's see a new article. Let's see. Okay, let me show you an article that I already have it created here, and after that we could just create an additional one. For example, I created an article, drowning treatment. It was basically for a hotel that we used in a demo. So the title was drowning treatment, and the keywords were drowning, pool, injury, so many different words that probably could help you to identify. After that, you could have some images. I usually recommend has like a header image, and after that has the related images and the content that you need to use. As you can see here, you could have a lot of text, and additionally, you could have some hyperlinks or some additional words that are going to allow you to extend the document. But the idea with the article is just try to have all the content directly in the article and not to use many hyperlinks or many links. And the reason is that when you are in a case, for example, you could search an article, an English page article, and relate that content directly or send the content directly to the uh, sorry uh sorry, give me a minute. uh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. What I was saying is that I don't recommend use too much links because when you are in a case, probably you want to include the document, I mean the whole article to your case, or you want to send that article directly through the email to your customer. So if you are using a lot of links, you're gonna lose that. So that's why I really recommend has all the content directly in your article. That's going to allow you to send that information directly. Okay, so let's create a new article here. So for example, let's click on new, and on the title, let's say printer installation. Okay, so under description, you must include all the, like a brief overview. On this article, we are going to explain how to blah blah blah. Okay, so the idea here is just create a small overview of the content of your article, and the most important things again is the keywords, are the keywords. So printer, like installation, like probably could be issues, so many different words. Try to don't use words too general like issues because it's too general, but something related or specifically like printer or like installation could be okay. On the content section, you could use many different controls here. You can include tables, you can include images, you can include a lot of things. And additionally, if you need, you could use the HTML editor here. So if you already have your document in an HTML format, you could just paste the content here, and that will be enough. I, I I regularly recommend use this designer because it's more like familiar. It's like an a Word document. But if you want to use it in a different way, it's okay. Let's say that the content is going to be like procedure, how to install a printer, something like that. Something to like uh, how to install a printer. You could use, as I mentioned, many different things here, like, uh, see, anything that you need. And I don't want to be too fancy and spend a lot of time on that. Here is the procedure to install operator and blah blah blah. Okay, so when you save the article the first time, the CRM of course is going to put the title here, and it's going to do some additional things here. Something that I didn't mention and that it's really important is that before creating the article, probably it's a good idea go to summary before click on save, because there are some elements that you are not going to be able to change after create the document, after create the article. So for example, uh, the language of the article, the base language is going to be defined at the beginning and you cannot change it later. So it's a good idea before just click on save. Be sure that the language that you are relating to the article is the correct one. Okay, when you create an article, there are so many different fields that are going to be filled automatically. The status that is going to be by default is going to be proposed, because it's like a draft. It's not totally a draft, but you are creating a draft. So at the beginning, the article is going to be unproposed, and when you're ready and you want to pass it, uh, so when you already have the document in a draft,
Estaba aquí, lo
you
tenía
change it
cargado,
as a
apenas
draft.
te escuchó, vale, bombas.
Sorry.
Done. I'm sorry, people.
Give me
It's done, Jorge. It's done.
okay. Thanks. And so when you're creating an article, it's going to be unproposed, and when you already have the article ready, you could just change it to draft. And when you finalize it, will be just change it to needs to review. When someone is reviewing, it's going to be in review. So that's basically the follow up of the article. So here you're gonna see the person that created article. The article public number is going to be automatically generated, and the CRM is going to have all the information related to the version, to the minor version. You could create branches. You could create a lot of things here, and it's going to have all the history of who's going to who modified the article, when it modified the article, and so on. Additionally, on analytics, you could see how many times, how many times the people saw the article, how many feedbacks or ratings the articles has. You open an article, I'm going to show you that later. You just make us like it or don't like it, and you could have that information here. And if you relate the article to a specific cases, you could see here how many cases has this article related to. Okay, so when you create the article, you're gonna have in the order stage, it's going to suggest you set keywords, define an article subject that could be quality, could be service. You could configure this, but basically, let's say that it's going to be customer support. And if you're ready with the article, you could just mark for review. That is going to change the status of the article to for review. And after that, you could define who's going to review that article. Okay. Let's say that I'm going to check this. And let me see. Okay. The CRM is going to ask you the name or the person that, oh, okay. So basically, if I refresh the article, let me refresh it. It's going to be in a different status. It's going to be, let's see. If I am ready to review, I need to change the status here uh, on needs review. Yeah. And additionally, I need to define who's going to review the article. Of course, we could configure or you could customize some rules to assign that articles yeah, by default. I mean, probably could be the topic, could be some specific feature that allows you to define automatically who's going to review that. But if you don't define anything, I mean, the out of functionality is that you create an article and you need to define who's going to review that. If you define your company that the article is going to be reviewed directly for a person, you could assign that article directly using the assign functionality. Or if you don't know who's going to review the article, I mean, on this case, I could just assign the article to someone, and that person is going to review the article. If I am the same person that is going to review the article, I just need to click here. Or if the person that received the article comes here, you just need to come here and just click in approve or to reject. And after that, you could pass to publish. If you don't know who is the person that is going to receive the article, probably you have a team that is in charge of that. So probably you need to add the article to a queue and allows you to have all the elements in a specific queue. And after that, the person or the group of person that is assigned to that queue is going to take the articles from the queue and is going to start reviewing the articles. Okay. So basically, this is the main way to create an article. Let me try to continue with this. Be sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, so you just click on save. You could just define who's going to review. Uh, you need to define the keywords. You need to define, okay, that's covered. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you're going to be able to define the language of the article. Of course, you could create an article. After that, just define some translations if you want to have that article in different languages. So that will be a good idea if you are a multi-language company. And okay, articles templates. How to use the article templates. There are so many different cases that you could use this one. Basically, when you want to try to define all your articles in a standard way, probably it's a good idea try to define a template with all the images, with all the structure, and just allow the users configure the content, the specific content, the specific test, but all the structure of your article must be the same. The idea of the articles is just trying to standardize the information and just try to standardize the way that you present that information to your customers. So that's why it's a good idea try to create some templates. So how you could create that, I'm going to explain you two things, how to create a template and how to use that template later. So let me try to show you at the beginning how to create a template. To create a template, you need to go here to advanced settings. It's not probably, let me see if Microsoft already include the template creation here because sometimes, okay, it's already here. So I don't have to go here. Okay, you just need to go to service management and after that, just click in article template. Let's create a new template. It's going to ask you some languages because he needs to be sure in what language you want to use this template. Let's say that I'm going to use this template for the Spanish. Spanish, let's say this one. And here you need to configure, let's create a template here. Let's take like base template. Let's say Optimus base template. And probably that information is not required. I mean, if you fill it out, that information is going to be included in the articles that you are going to create based on this template. But if you don't want to include any information, it is okay. So probably I'm going to recommend you include some elements in the description. This article is going is going to be percent and something like that, something like the base. And after that, probably the person will define who's going to continue with the article. If you already have some keywords, like you are going to use by default, but uh, probably I'm not going to recommend that. And just right here, you could define the header. I mean, just include an image here, and after that, probably a footer, and probably include something like a subject that is going to be here. I mean, you're going to create a template. Yep. So try to define all the elements that you want to include on all the documents that you are going, I mean, in all the articles that you are going to create based on this template. So the first thing is create a template as we did, as we just did. After that, you need to go to service again, and you need to go to articles, all these articles. And just right here, you're gonna have buttons. The first one is going to be new, but the second one is going to be new from template. So when you click on new from template, the CRM must ask you the name of the template. Uh, and the name of the template is going to be one of the templates that you already find. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to use the optimal space template. That was the template. So as you can see here, the description is going to be entered immediately, and all the information that you already have it in your template is going to be here. It's a basic template functionality, but the idea is just, and basically I am presenting this because I really want to recommend you use it. The idea of the article is not has, I mean, the idea is not have hundred of thousand of articles in different ways. The idea is just try to have a standardized articles and and start creating in a organized way. Okay. So here I will explain you how to create articles and how to create the article templates is something kind of easy. To review the article, as I mentioned, you need to create an article, and after that, you just need to check on mark for review. And after that, you're going to be able to send the article to someone to review. If you are the person that is going to read the article, probably you need to I mean, you need to know how to identify the articles that you need to review. So you need to go to knowledge article, and there are a view here, articles, uh, are standard articles need to review. Yeah. So as you can see here, I'm going to be able to select this view, draft articles need to review, and probably I could just review the articles. Let me try to review this article. If I'm the person that is going to review the article, my first step is going to open the article, define if I approve or reject. Let's say that I'm going to approve. Are you sure that you want to approve this? Yes. And after that, you're going to be able to publish the article. So how you could publish that? Let me click on review, and just as you can see, it's already in approved. Let me pass to publish because I want to show you something in the publish functionality. Uh, Let me, okay, yeah, here in the dots, you could create a major version, you could create a minor version, you could associate category, you could translate, you could do a lot of things here that of course, I'm not going to cover everything here, but basically are functionality that you could just explore later. But I want to show you how to publish because it's kind of important. When you publish that, the CRM is going to ask you some things that you need to be aware of that. So the first one is going to be, when do you want to publish the article? Could be in the future or could be now. If you're going to publish in the future, the CRM is going to ask you a future day, of course. And if you are going to publish now, the publish status is going to be published or is going to be updated, but usually it's going to be published. You could define an expiration date. So probably it's an article that is going to be okay for this year, but for the next year, probably you need to generate an additional one or you need to update the article. So probably it's a good idea try to define an expiration date. Uh, an article that applies, I mean, the articles shouldn't apply forever. The idea with the articles is just try to keep everything fresh, everything updated. So yeah, it's a good idea try to expire that. So after this date, the CRM is going to expire the article. Uh, but probably if you don't want, you could just move it to archive it, sorry, or just expire it. Okay. So if you publish the article here, the article is going to be available later. So let me show you how to identify the article later. So there are two ways to search the article. Well, there are many different ways, but you could just, of course, search the article here, but it's not kind of easy. But there's an additional tool here, the knowledge search, that is like a CRM Google, something like that, that allows you to search. Probably if you just put a keyword here, must appear. Yeah, okay, so I've used a keyword for this article, and you could see the article here. You could just click on like or not. The CRM is going to be counting the number of times that how many times did you see the article, and not just you, anyone. And you could just click here if the article was helpful or not. That's a way to search the article. It's not the best one, but it's a way. Um, Probably the best way for me is when you're in a case. When you're in a case, for example, this one, in the case, you're going to have a section that is going to search, is going to allow you to search directly in the articles. Uh, 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 let me let me see. Okay, so here you could just click in this button, and you're going to be directly in the knowledge search. So you could use a word, for example, pool accident. Well, when you create a case, the CRM is going to take the case title and it's going to try to search articles with that title, with that keyword or whatever. And if, for example, you identify that that article is going to help you to solve the case, you could link the article to your case. So, for example, you just need to click here and you're going to be linked to the case. You could just click here and open or pop up the article in a new window to just read it I mean, in a full mode. And if you want, you can email the article to your customer directly. All the content of the article is going to be sent directly to the customer. That's the powerful of the functionality. It's a way to define all the procedures in a standardized way. And after that allows all the users, I mean, all the customer service user have access to that information and send that information directly to the client. So that's why it's important to try to create the articles in a customer language, because probably it's information that you are going to be sending to the customer or that you probably want to send to the customers. Okay. Okay. The final thing here is the knowledge article dashboard. That is a functionality that is already by default. If you click here in dashboard, the CRM already has some dashboards available here. Knowledge management manager, sorry, and my knowledge dashboard. For knowledge manager, you are going to see all the relevant information. I mean, uh, let me try to use last quarter. Okay, so probably here you're going to see what articles are in proposed, what articles are in draft, what articles are expired, the most popular articles, what article is published, who published the article, in what language is the article, and all the information. It's just a standard dashboard. And my knowledge dashboard is going to present you probably more information. Let me try to probably last quarter. So it's going to show you the articles that you published, your expired articles, how many times the article was viewed, the reason, the owner, the subject, and your active article. So that's a summary information about your articles that could be useful, or probably you could just try to define additional articles, additional dashboard if you need. But by default, the CRM is going to uh, allow you to use that dashboards by default. So basically, here I was explaining that, and uh, and okay. So basically, this is the functionality, the knowledge base articles functionality. It's an standard functionality that you could use in many different ways, in many different modules. If you want to use it for sales, for how to use for have your sales procedures, or to have some elements that you want to include in some proposals or in some quotes. If you want to use it for customer service, usually that functionality is used on customer service side, but you could use it on many different ways. Okay, so as we used to have, if you want to try, you could just go directly to our trial instance that is available anytime. You could do all the exercise that you want. You could do exactly the thing that we did here today. Or if you want to explore additional functionalities in CRM, that's a good way to do it. Just go directly there and just create your own exercises. Thanks all of you for your time. If you have any question, you could just send me an email and I will send you the answer as soon as possible. Thanks all of you for your time and have a nice day.